What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Effing Podcast. It is Nick Harrington, your co-host, joined by Bo Belmer here in the studio. Today, we are breaking down probably the best part of the calendar to be an American fan. We've got 3 races back to back to back that you can watch without having to wake up at the ass crack of dawn. We had the U.S. Grand Prix 2 weeks ago. This episode, we're breaking down everything that just happened last weekend at the Mexico Grand Prix. We're giving you a little preview of what's to come here in a couple days in Brazil. Also, we know life can be a bit messy. Sometimes there's a sneezy mess and those moments can't be avoided, but fear not, because today's episode is brought to you by Kleenex, the ultimate solution to life's unexpected spills and sniffles. Kleenex is more than a tissue. It's a symbol of comfort and care. It's an extra layer of softness that Bo and I deeply need when you face the world refreshed and ready for whatever comes your way. Whether you're dealing with allergies, cold, or just need a moment of self-care, Kleenex is there to use a helping hand for you. All right, guys, let's do this. Okay.
Bing, bang, boom.
All right.
So Jake just went on a tirade about conspiracy theories for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
And
he mentioned something called 4chan.
yeah, he was like...
Something
We didn't even talk about what is that?
Something about the letter of Q?
Yeah, he was like...
I don't know what it means.
His username is like QAnon lover 69420.
Yeah.
And he said birds aren't real. It got really weird.
It's a good thing that your posts haven't been leaked.
Yeah.
Because you would not get a job anywhere.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out where Jake was on January 6th.
Yeah, we don't know. He hasn't told us yet.
Yeah, we haven't quite. I haven't heard a really good alibi.
I wasn't with him on January 6th.
I can confirm I was also not with him on January 6th.
It's not looking good.
So,
I also wasn't with you on Jan 6th.
I'll plead the fifth.
Shoot, you were. Yeah. I'm trying to remember where I was on Jan 6th.
I remember where I was.
I was in my apartment.
Where were you?
I was living on January 6th.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was in my apartment in New Jersey at the time. I was in
Scottsdale. All right. Let's talk about Mexico. We had a race this last weekend. I want to say that this is, as an American fan, probably the best part of the season. We got back to back to back. Some would call it a trifecta of races that are all based in the central fucking time zone. Or one west of the time zone, mountain zone, whatever that is. Close enough. It's on American time where we don't have to get up at the ass crack of dawn. We could watch all the practices. We could watch the qualifying, the sprint race if there's one, the full race, and not have to wake up at the ass crack of dawn. I feel for the European fans. Like, they have it so fucking good all season, dude.
Yeah.
All season.
It's wild. I know I go back and forth on this. On the one hand, I totally agree. It's much more convenient. I do kind of like my morning coffee and race time though. Yeah. I'm like an early riser though. I get up early every day, even on the weekends, and I go to bed at like way too early because I'm a grandpa. But and also, I get your point though. For most people, they're definitely going to agree with you.
Yeah, and it's also competing though against like the NFL and college football Saturday and Sunday. So it's on like ESPN 8. When you want to watch it, like it literally is not like on a main broadcast.
Okay, how have they not made the Ocho yet?
They did it, I think, for a while.
Oh, did they?
They did like some like Ocho bits.
Wait, have you not seen Dodgeball, Jake? Please tell me you've seen Dodgeball.
I've seen Dodgeball, but like not for like
Gen Z.
years,
we're gonna do a reaction video. Gen Z watches Dodgeball.
What all-time movie?
In the movie, ESPN 8, the Ocho.
Purple Cobra's shirt.
Oh yeah,
got it. Yeah,
nice.
That's it's the channel in the movie that all of the obscure sports are on, including Dodgeball.
Obscure Sports Quarterly.
Do you remember Spike TV?
I love Spike
that was
TV.
kind of
Spike
like
TV
the Ocho.
was great. Slam Ball.
Yeah, that was kind of like the Ocho.
The
Now I
Dude
think
Show.
about it, the Dude Show.
All right.
Mexico GP.
Mexico, dude.
So before we even got to this weekend, by the way, I kind of like now these weeks where we do have back-to-back races because we're recording on Wednesdays, so we're like the midweek check-in, right? Like people kind of, if you watch the race already, you kind of know what happened, but this is like the refresh of like the interesting, exciting stuff, and then we get to jump into this next race, right?
Yes.
Before we talk about the Mexican Grand Prix, I want to talk about a tweet that I saw right before the Mexican Grand Prix.
Okay.
That was a quote from Antonio Perez, who is Checo's father, who said that Checo will definitely drive with Max in the same team for the next 10 years.
10 years.
10 years. This was before the GP. What happened? Wait, what happened at this race to Checo?
Checo had a hell of a race.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
How far into the race did he make it?
First of all, I want to say though, like, what a great dad. What a great fucking dad.
Do you think he believes that?
When I have a kid, I'm gonna blindly believe my kid could be president or do whatever he can. Like that's the kind of parent that you need, you know, that he's 32, he's had the worst season ever. He's got 10 years left with
10
Max.
years, dude.
Max has 10 years left, right?
Do you think he believes that? He's either the most ride or die yes man ever, which is hilarious, or he's the most delusional guy ever, which is also hilarious.
He put the onus on himself of like, I got to squash this rumor that Checo will retire and come out with the opposite and say that he's going to drive until he's 95
10 years
old.
He's going to outlive Horner in the sport. Such a crazy quote. It made me laugh when I saw it. So good. I guess I have no way of verifying if it's real, but it was tweeted by a pretty reputable F1 account. So
yeah. If the tweet is real, you're saying? Or if that's
if
actually
the quote
real?
was real, yeah.
Oh,
but
the quote.
I'm going to choose to believe it because the source was like relatively reputable.
I'm going to choose to believe it's true.
And it's hilarious. So I'm going to choose to believe it's
better
true.
if it's true.
You want to start qualifying for the weekend?
Yeah. We'll talk qualifying real quick. Kind of talked about this in the preview. I hate this track. Love the atmosphere. Mexico brings some of the best fans in the sport. The culture, the vibes are all-time high.
Did you hear the mariachi band doing the F1 song?
Love that,
so
dude.
Good.
It's so fucking fun, man. Yeah. Why doesn't that happen for every race?
It was a good time.
Like a little like cultural country flair.
Well, we don't have any. I mean, Texas. I don't know. We don't really have.
Texas would be like twang.
Yeah,
like
they probably
Hank
do
Williams
that.
Jr. out
they
there.
have the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. That's like the closest thing they're gonna get. What's Vegas gonna be?
Vegas would be like slot machines.
There's a bunch of old people pulling slot machines.
Like chain smoking and
yes. You walk in, you get your party favor. It's cigarettes and depression.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's so bad.
Okay. But this race this weekend was fair. I would say like for as shitty as this track is, it's been one of the best Mexico Grand Prix that we had. Qualifying real quick, Ferrari came out of nowhere, locked out the front row.
Yeah,
Leclerc,
they had a horrible practice.
Bro, they had no pace the entire fucking weekend. And then all of a sudden, come qualifying, Leclerc P1, Sainz P2, Ferrari lockout, which was so surprising.
Yeah, I'm looking right now at their free practice. The best that they finished, I mean, in FP3, they finished 13th and 15th.
Yes.
And then came out of nowhere. Yeah, that was crazy.
And Leclerc post-interview for that was just as surprised as everyone else. He had no explanation for how they got pulled.
Yeah,
literally.
We just did. Yeah. Also, Danny Ricciardo, got to talk about it. What a lap. What a guy. Really just kind of spit in Checo's face at his home Grand Prix.
Yeah, didn't he out-qualify him?
Yeah.
Yes.
Danny finished P4, or qualified P4. Perez finished... qualified P5.
Yep. And then Verstappen there, P3 for qualification.
Correct.
Other big headline, Lando did not make it out of Q1. Basically didn't get a lap in. They had him on mediums. They had him pit for whatever reason. He came back out there, had a very rough lap that didn't put him in the top 15, so he didn't get out of Q1. Those are like the big headlines, I'd say, for qualifying.
Yeah, just a couple other small points to mention. Alonso, pretty bad qualifying again. He finished P13.
The AlphaTauris both made it into Q3, which was pretty surprising. Excuse me, not the AlphaTauris, the Alfa Romeos.
The Alfa Romeos
both made it into Q3.
Yeah, and Logan Sargent didn't finish.
Yep, not a surprise.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the actual race.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because I think Checo, lap one, everyone knows it's one of the longest straights, one of the longest run-ups to turn one. The slipstream plays such a huge factor here, where you almost don't want to qualify in first because the slipstream that the second row teams have such an advantage where they're almost going to be side by side with you from the slipstream they get. Checo, little horned up there with the Mexican country. He's got the flag on his back. They're chanting, Checo, Checo, Viva la Mexico, and goes into turn one, outside.
3 wide.
3 wide.
Yeah.
Thinks he's got like a chance for glory to take it home. Proceeds to just turn in as if these other cars aren't there. Red Bull gave him wings. He went fucking airborne.
It was crazy.
It was a crazy fucking little incident there.
Yeah, it looked like a Mario Kart crash.
Yes.
Like he literally
got
went
blue-shelled.
he literally got blue shelled and bounced off the track. It was wild.
Yeah.
I was surprised. Did he drive it back to the pit?
He drove back to the pit.
Yeah, he did, right?
Yes.
Yeah, which that was crazy. I couldn't believe it was even drivable.
And that car was in like shambles. Like the whole side pod was like crushed in.
What's so weird about F1 crashes are the cars are so finicky. Like stuff like that happens and it's not literally drivable, but like not completely demolished. And then sometimes two people will clip each other and the suspension will just explode.
Yes.
Like literally explode.
Or you get a trash bag stuck in your brake duct and you have to retire the car.
Yeah, and you're done.
Yeah. Like, or a visor tear off, gets stuck in a brake duct and the car's done.
Yeah, crazy.
So yeah, Checo, very unfortunate race for him, man, because he basically had to retire the car after that incident.
Yeah, and I know that, literally, I know there is not a worse outcome, really, that could have happened to him.
No.
Like I was laughing because of how ridiculous it was and because I had just got done seeing his dad quote about how he's going to race with Max for the next 10 years. But man, do I genuinely feel bad for him. Like, that you get one race in your home country. He's like the biggest superstar athlete in Mexico right now, easily. And it's him and what's that musician's name? Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. Oh, Bad Bunny's massive.
Is he bigger than Checo? Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
From a national scale.
But anyway, he's like the biggest athlete, and he's out in the first
lap.
straight. He was like the first turn of the first lap.
Yes, dude.
Also, okay, I know I'm skipping ahead here, but did you see in the post race when the crowd was booing Leclerc?
Yes.
And he's just like, I had nowhere to go.
What did you want me to do?
What's he supposed to do?
Yeah. Like a collective boo from the entire audience. Dude, I'm surprised that the fans stayed. I thought we were gonna see a mass exodus kind of when like
riots,
like when like Bama is like up on 4 touchdowns and like it's time for like they're playing in Tennessee or something and all the Tennessee fans leave. Like I thought we were gonna see that. Speaking of riots, we saw fights though in the.
Okay, this is in my headlines. I do have this.
Should we talk about that now? Or
yeah, we can jump into that. So yeah, this was in the headline. Did you see this fight in the stands?
I saw that. Yeah,
Did you see this, Jake? Mm-hmm. There was a legitimate like crowd fist fight in the stands. It looked like a Raiders game or something.
It was like Checo versus Ferrari fight.
Yeah, like real punches are being thrown.
Checo fans versus like
Ferrari. Yes, the Tifosi versus the Checo fans.
Yes, hilarious. Like a full-on brawl in the stands, which is hilarious and like very much. I was gonna say American. This obviously wasn't in America, but it's something you would see at like a White Sox game or like a Raiders game or something.
Game,
yeah.
Dude, yes. Well, it wasn't like at the Chargers game 3 weeks ago. There was like 7 different fights that happened. I think it was a Chargers-Raiders game, actually.
Have you ever witnessed a crowd fight like that?
They're amazing, dude. They're great to be a part of. On the edge.
Yeah. I've never like seen one that close, but I've been at a game where there was one and you could see it from far away. And it's just like, dude, what
And then it's
doing,
always
man?
like the people that run in that try to break it up that are the ones that get knocked out.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then you see the person like fly over everyone else and fall down 5 rows. It's just like...
Dude, I was at a Miami Heat game a couple of years ago. They were throwing away these like really shitty T-shirts. You know when like people go,
oh yeah,
they're
that's
like,
the best.
You guys wave, and it's like whatever section waves the loudest gets this T-shirt.
People are like ripping each other's skin off for a fucking sticker. Yeah, dude.
This guy like this, they end up throwing it in the other section. This guy ends up catching the T-shirt, proceeds to roll down like 7 rows of steps. They actually had to get an ambulance and put him out in a stretcher.
Dude, no way.
And then later, I ended up catching the same T-shirt. It was the world's shittiest T-shirt. It was like a Carnival Cruise T-shirt with a Heat logo that was like the size of a quarter.
Dude.
On the bottom, I'm like, this guy risked his life. He's spending the night in the hospital for the world's worst T-shirt.
Yo, do you have the T-shirt still?
I know, it was so bad.
I wish you did. We'd hang it up on the wall. That's amazing. Dude, this guy missed work on Monday because he fell down the stairs at a
for
Heat
an extra
game.
large T-shirt.
It's never your size either. Dude, it's always the worst size. It's always like Jake catching a women's small or like me or you catching like a 2X.
Like, thanks.
Oh man, that's amazing. I love that so much. But yeah, that was awesome. Okay, so with Checo being out, who should the fans have jumped on board with? I feel like it should have been Logan Sargent because he's the next closest thing to Mexico, but oh wait, he also didn't finish. Yeah.
So surprise. Sargent had a start. He didn't finish the race?
No.
Oh shit.
It was right at the end though. He bowed out with like 2 laps to go.
Yeah. He came off a point last week too.
I was just looking for a reason to make that joke. I didn't really, but he did. Yeah, he didn't finish.
If we talk about Ferrari,
let's.
Because the pace that they had in qualifying was super surprising. Leclerc, it's been an interesting season because Max Verstappen has dominated this season. He won the race. It's his 15th win this season, which actually now breaks the record for most wins in a season. It broke his prior record of 14, where he was tied with Schumacher and Vettel. Mm-hmm. Granted, there's more races now, so there's more abilities to win. But like, if you look at the qualifying results throughout this season, Max has not been the Q1 guy. every single time.
No, yeah.
Like, I think Leclerc might have the same number of poles as Max, but it's almost like a guarantee when Leclerc, I mean, it doesn't matter who qualifies first because Max is going to win, but Leclerc qualifying first doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
Like,
it like almost doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of like.
Does he have a win in F1?
He's got wins in F1.
Not this season, but
not this season.
I was say he does have wins.
He's got wins. I think he won in Italy.
Oh, he won Monza.
Yes.
Yeah, he did. That was last year, maybe 2 years ago. Yeah. I think it might have been 21.
But like overall, for them to like, they put those cars to me where they needed to finish. For them finishing, it was 3rd and 4th. Better result to me than last week when Leclerc qualified first and ended up finishing 6th. So I think like they had a decent race overall with what that car had. But yeah, man, like Max going on to break that record, continuing to dominate. I think it's like, it's to me, it's more of a testament of just how good Max is than it is the car. Because I think like you look at Checo where he's finishing, granted he DNF'd this race, but I think like there's more Otis that needs to be on Max Verstappen just being the best driver there is right now than what people really talk about.
Yeah, the more that this goes on, the more that it's like, again, it's not just the car. Like we saw this in Qatar with the track limits thing where he's the only guy not exceeding track limits. At some point, it does cross the threshold of this guy's incredible. Like he truly is just incredible. I was way off. Leclerc has 5 wins.
Yeah,
I don't know why. It's been a while.
It's been a long time, dude.
Yeah,
it's been a very long time.
And I just feel like, to your point, it does seem like it doesn't really matter where he qualifies. He'll be in the mix, but I for 0 seconds did I think he was going to win this race.
Same.
Right?
Same.
So, meanwhile, obviously we just talked about that Max, unbelievably dominant. Hamilton looks great.
Dude.
He's going to get that 2 spot. And if he wouldn't have gotten DQ'd last week, I believe he would already be in the 2 spot.
Yes.
So he's 20 points behind right now. He has 220 points. Checo has 240 points. He will catch him.
Is looking good, dude.
Yeah.
And Hamilton, his post-race, not interview, but radio that he had to his team, it was pure fucking joy. And
yeah.
I feel like whenever he finishes 2nd or 3rd, there's always that hint of him that's like, good job, team, but we should have fucking won. This, to me, it felt like the first radio message I've heard from him probably all season, probably in the last 2 seasons, where he just seems genuinely happy.
Yeah,
like he felt it was just like pure bliss out of his voice. It was like a surprise almost. Like I'd like seeing that from Lewis, you know? Like it's hard to cheer against that guy when he gives a radio message where it's just like sheer, genuine positivity coming from that guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say like he's becoming more likable, and I don't like it. You know, I don't want
to cheer for this guy.
Yeah, I don't want him to be more likable, but he's becoming more likable. Did you see Toto's just unbelievable smirk too when they took P2? They just cut to him. It was almost like an Office clip. They cut to him, and he just had the best Toto smirk.
Dude, I love Toto.
He's hilarious.
He's the guy.
But him and Horner together are such a good just like rivalry pair. I really love it.
Yes.
But I think my thought process is Hamilton has just given up at this point at trying, like he can't beat Max and he literally can't in the drivers. So I think he's just really excited about the prospect of taking that P2 from Checo.
Yeah, that was a comfortable drive for him.
Yeah, and it's not about Checo, like personally. I think he just wants to take that from Red Bull and he looks at it now like winning the championship is taking P2 because
definitely.
the rest of the season's over.
Yes.
So like I think that's where it's coming from, and it's great. I love to see it. I hope we continue. I think we're going to continue to see it. I think probably after this weekend, I still think Hamilton's going to get a win this year.
Dude, I think
he'll win this year.
We're talking about Brazil at the end of this.
That he does.
Yeah, I think he will.
I think that would be crazy.
If he wins in Brazil, that's kind of like, to me, his like second country after like the UK. Him winning in Brazil, that place would go fucking crazy. And I think like he's got a good shot of winning there too.
Totally. Yeah.
When I was first getting into like this all like F1, you know, I thought that Lewis was like, or Hamilton was kind of washed up, old, kind of on its way out. Maybe he was, you know, when I like, entered the space. You know, maybe that's what the theme was with him. But he's good, man. Like, he's still in it.
I feel like the beginning of the season,
Lewis Hamilton's a good race car driver. Jake Barr, 2023.
Yeah. You heard it here, guys.
Yeah,
you heard it here on the effing pod.
This is the good American analysis that you guys all sign up for. No. In all seriousness, though,
good.
I understand what you're saying. It's because of the time period at which you started paying attention. He was certainly in a slump.
Yes.
And more specifically, Mercedes as a team was in a slump. Like, they did not start the season hot.
No.
And so,
and when that car is not performing, Hamilton does not handle it well, and it's easy to be like, this guy is washed. Like I think like people were even questioning at the beginning of the season, like, is he over? Is he done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
no, you're 100%. I get why that's your perspective.
Hot take, man.
It's just a funny perspective. Sticking on Mercedes really quick. George Russell also looks pretty good. I mean, he's another one where he is going to be consistently in contention. He's not going to win a race this year, but he's going to be in contention for serious points every single week. And I think if they continue to progress the way they are into next season, he probably will be a podium contender every single week at some point.
Yeah, I think it's interesting looking at the driver standings and comparing the same team of the point spread between them.
Sure.
As a good just like barometer of like how have they been performing one to the other. Like Verstappen at 491 points to Sergio Perez at 240. Like Max is more than double the points of Perez. Hamilton has 220 points. George Russell has 151. So a difference of like 71, 69 points there, maybe.
Nice.
Thank you. So like to me, like there's still a big spread between how Hamilton's performing and how Russell's been performing. I know you like Russell. I don't like Russell.
I don't like him. I just don't not like him. You don't like him.
I think like I think Russell had a very fine race. I think like based on how Hamilton's a straight up better driver than Russell, and I think Russell is just like a whiny little bitch boy, and that's just how it is.
My favorite spread is Alonso with 183 points and Stroll with 53 points.
I love that point. I love that spread, man.
It's a healthy spread.
Especially because Fernando, like, he's not putting up big races anymore. You know, I saw Stroll made a comment that said, yeah, there's some of us on the team, like, we really aren't, like, he said, we're leaving a lot of points behind. Stroll said that.
Yeah, are you?
I'm like, yeah, are you guys?
Also, should Gasly be embarrassed that he's only 3 points ahead of Stroll? Because I feel like he should be. And even more so, should Ocon be embarrassed that he is 8 points behind Stroll? Because I also feel like he should be too.
Yeah. I think, like, Stroll, like, Aston Martin's still just riding off there early days.
And the car is obviously better than the Alpine for sure.
Yeah.
But if Stroll's only finishing 1 out of like 4 races,
I think it's more embarrassing for Stroll.
Okay.
I think it's more embarrassing.
Well, yeah, when you see how with Alonso's in P5 for the drivers, yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, dude, we gotta talk. I think the biggest headline out of this, besides Checo crashing himself, is Daniel fucking Ricciardo, dude.
I was gonna
Ricciardo.
I was gonna lead the whole episode with this, but I kind of wanted you to find your way there on your own.
Thank you.
How's your skin feeling? Are you feeling pretty safe right now?
Bro. I thought it was over, bro.
Well, it was. No.
Isn't it over?
No.
Oh,
it was.
Finish season.
It was over. Like Yuki is the reason right now that it's not over.
Oh, because if Yuki would.
So based on how the points are now, and quick, if this is your first episode you listen to us,
weird first episode. But if
Bo and I have a tattoo bet. Bo said that AlphaTauri will not finish last. I said no fucking way they're gonna finish last. And to the point that we put a bet where whoever loses has to get a tattoo.
Yeah, and I think this was the week that they dropped De Vries. I think it was
early in the season.
It was like the first week Ricciardo stepped in, I think.
It was so long.
Or was De Vries still driving?
It was like summer break-ish.
It was like right before they dropped
summer
him.
Break.
Yeah. So they were at the low.
They were at a low.
Yeah, they had 2 points, I think, or maybe even 1 point, and it was only Yuki, like a P10 finish.
Yes. Yeah. Daniel Ricciardo, man, for him to qualify 4th, put this AlphaTauri, first off, into Q3 is an absolute shock. When I was watching this race, I thought it was like, okay, Daniel Ricciardo qualified 4th. We're going to see this pace drop off dramatically as the race goes on. They don't have good race pace. No way. Daniel Ricciardo hung out the entire race in 4th or 5th place. Mm-hmm. And then when they had the red flag in the middle, when Kevin Magnussen had his incident, and then they had the restart, he lost a position, ended up in 6th place on this, right? Or was it
7? He ended P7. He got passed by Russell at the end, yeah.
Ended up P7. So, first off, fuck you, because AlphaTauri is going to win this bet. They already, as it sits now, they have the same amount of points as Alfa Romeo, but if we go, I think we said they're not going to finish last.
They're not going to finish last.
Who's in last? Haas, right?
Haas with 12 points. They're tied with Alfa Romeo at 16, but they're technically in 8th because they scored more recent points. Here's the thing, though. You should actually
have a better finish than Alfa Romeo does.
You should actually be happy, though, because with like 10 laps to go, maybe even less, maybe only been 8 laps,
Yuki also had a Leroy Jenkins move.
So Ricciardo was running P6 at the time, and Yuki was running P8 at the time, and he tried to make the pass on Piastri. He tried like 3 times in 2 laps, and honestly, it was just super aggressive. He should have chilled out, and that's very clear in hindsight. But he tried to make a pass and went wheel to wheel. They touched. He ended up DNFing, or not DNFing. He got booted basically, and he ended up still finishing P16, which all things considered is not the worst in the world.
Yeah.
But anyway, they were poised to had that not happened.
He finished 12th.
Or 12th rather. Yeah. I was looking at driver's standing. Sorry. Had that not happened, and then the same passes happened at the end, so Russell gets past Ricciardo and Piastri stayed where he was, they would have finished P7, P9. So it would have been over. Like that was going to be.
In my opinion, it's already over.
Do you think it's over now?
It's already over. Yes.
Okay.
Like, I don't think
over
because like for any, I talked about this.
Alfa Romeo. You don't think Joe Grant, you might be your hero?
But isn't it? They went from last place.
Oh,
to
they have to now finish last.
So Haas has to beat them,
Haas has
and
to
Alfa
do it.
Romeo.
Yeah. Okay.
And
it's
there's
over.
no way. There's no fucking way, dude. The
Haas,
only reason why I was happy that Ricciardo finished 7th is at one point you said AlphaTauri's going to finish 6th or better this season.
Better. Yes,
and
I was thinking this.
I go, you're fucking high.
Yes.
You're fucking crazy. And dude, if there was one more lap, Ricciardo would have passed Russell. He would have at one point on the last lap, there was half a tenth of time between them, and they didn't show what happened because they switched to Max crossing over the finish line. And I'm like, yo, like there's a half a tenth between Russell and Ricciardo. Can we watch that battle?
Yeah.
I still don't know what happened, but I'm happy that he didn't finish 6th because I didn't want to see your smug little face.
Yeah,
coming in
I
here
forgot about that.
Going, what did I fucking say?
I was thinking
what did I
that.
fucking say?
I was thinking that as it was happening, and then I was just so happy that I'm probably going to win the tattoo bet now. But yeah, I know I thought that too. I was like, oh man, this is the greatest call of all time. Danny Rick, so he's going to get that Red Bull spot, no?
Okay, there's been some crazy rumors that have came out after this race.
Yeah, 100%.
Some crazy rumors that came out is that Perez might go to Aston Martin. Alonso might go to Red Bull to take over.
No shot. But I heard that too.
Alonso?
Yeah, I heard that. I also heard that Lance Stroll, Daddy Stroll, Papa Stroll, not Lance, the father of, I don't know what his real name is.
Father Lance.
Is his real name Lance?
No, his dad's name's something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
He might sell Aston Martin. So there's rumors of that. There's a lot of like shakeups going down. But dude, Daniel Ricciardo, that was the race.
His dad is Lawrence Stroll.
Lawrence.
Well, it's probably still Lance.
Yeah, what a fucking egotistical thing to name your kid after you.
Lawrence. I'm in my yeah.
Is your dad named Bowen?
No, his name's Brian, but his middle name's Bowen.
That's different.
My legal name's Brian.
That's
Bo's a junior.
My legal name's Brian.
You're a junior.
I'm not technically a junior.
So you have the same name as your dad?
Yes, but I have 2 middle names. He only has 1, so I'm technically not a junior. It's a little suspect. I mean, my dad listens to the show, so.
I met your dad. He's a great guy.
He just called you out. He carded with us.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, well, it's different if you're a billionaire.
Deal. Fair.
Okay.
I'll cut this part and save your kneecaps. I'm just kidding.
But that was the race that Daniel Ricciardo needed. That was the I'm back. He had a very average performance at the U.S. Grand Prix. Kind of got fucked by strategy. He showed phenomenal pace in that car, qualifying into Q3. Had the best finish for AlphaTauri this season. Could have finished 6th. I think he would have finished 6th if this race didn't get red flagged. It was what he needed to do. And Yuki has not had that performance this season. There's not been a standout performance like what Daniel just did.
No, yeah. This was the closest he got to that, actually. Because it actually was a great performance up until that mistake. But
how does Yuki not realize, man, I'm in 8th place? Can't I just like go home and take this? It's the best finish of the season. That move he did looked so fucking clumsy, man.
I was thinking about this. On the one hand, I completely agree with you. Like, play it safe, take the points. On the other hand, I love that he went for it. Because
I would have liked to see him gone for it.
That people always say, where they're like, the second you see a gap and don't go for it, you're no longer a racing driver or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I could think of. And I was like, I kind of love it because he went for it. I don't know. But it's also reckless.
I don't think it was a good move, is what I'm saying.
Certainly wasn't.
I think it was a really bad
smart move.
I think he turned into him before he was even like axle to axle with him.
Also there was many laps to go and he was literally like a tenth.
Yes.
Like he was on his ass. Like there was no need to make the move when he did.
Agreed.
So
and Piastri ended up not finishing the race.
No, he did.
No, he didn't.
Piastri finished P8.
I thought he had a car failure.
No.
Are you sure? I'm gonna fact check you on this.
Yeah,
you're right. You're right. Never. I take that back. I scratched that from the record. So never mind. Yeah. Either way, it's a clumsy move.
Yeah.
It was a clumsy move.
It totally
didn't
was.
need to happen.
Totally. And I can't even really defend it. It absolutely was.
So, but yeah, is Daniel Ricciardo, was that the clinch?
Yes.
Like the Perez?
Well, the true clinch is going to be Hamilton taking that P2 in the Drivers' Championship, but I think that was the clinch that will get Ricciardo the Red Bull seat. I think the Alonso rumor is garbage.
I think so too.
It's not happening.
It's fun. Like, it's fun to talk about.
It's fun. It was also fun to talk about Lando going to Red Bull like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Apparently he denied that. Like apparently he there was an actual chance for him to go, and he said
and he turned it down.
He said no.
I mean, yeah, McLaren. I would too, though, right? Like now they're competitive at McLaren, and you can either be the dude. Well, yeah, you can at least potentially be the dude at McLaren. I know Piastri's like looking really good as well, or number 2 to Max, no matter what. Mm-hmm. No one's stepping in there and being number 1 to Max. It's just not happening.
Agreed.
We should clone Max Verstappen and then have Max versus Max.
That'd be cool.
Who would win?
Max.
Max
would win, dude.
Yeah. What if they tied?
They would probably crash each other.
Yeah.
And then that team would implode. It'd create like a black hole.
Yeah, this is the best idea we've ever had, by the way. Yeah. I actually just want a whole race of Maxes.
all in the same car. It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
And all Horners calling shots.
Would it be interesting?
It'd be a good race.
Shut up, Jake.
It'd be a good race.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think if Checo would have finished this race, he'd have a way better position of being.
Yeah, he's gone. I
think he's done,
it's
dude.
over.
And it happened in Mexico, of all places. And forever, he's like gonna think back to that Mexican Grand Prix where woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah,
and he fucked it up.
Will he just
in F1
probably retire?
That's a good question.
Go to Williams.
I think he's good enough that he probably could get some looks to go somewhere, but he's also like later end of his career, age wise. So maybe
he's always been that steady guy. That guy that's like, you can put him on any team, he's going to perform well, and then he just gets to Red Bull and crumbles.
Yeah,
which is
but
the story
I guess,
of Red Bull.
Is there going to be a team that is cool with an average guy? Maybe like an Aston Martin? Maybe Aston Martin is the place?
I think Haas needs to drop K-Mag because he's looking like shit.
Well, Haas needs to clean house, and
Nico had a great race this weekend.
He's fine.
Nico had a great race, but K-Mag has not been performing very well.
What if they brought him into Haas?
Nico finished P13. He's fine.
Yeah, that's a good finish for Haas, man.
That's what I mean. Like, yeah, it's fine.
Nico's putting that car where it needs to be. K-Mag, I think, is like they renew both their contracts.
Haas should bring back Vettel and maybe take Perez. A Perez Vettel at Haas.
That'd be cool.
Wouldn't be terrible.
That'd be a dynamic duo.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know if I think Checo will land somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be at Red Bull for the next 10 years, according to his dad.
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, man. So maybe we're all the idiots, and he knows something we don't know.
Yeah. Talking McLaren, shifting gears here.
Yeah.
Lando had probably one of the best drives of his career, if I think about it. He didn't qualify well at all. Failed to get it into Q1, out of Q1. Mm-hmm. Ended up, what was it, 5th?
P5.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like that, and it's a track that's notoriously hard to overtake. It kind of begs the question of like, if he would have even gotten to Q3, they had a serious shot of a podium with that car with him. But he was on a fucking mission those last 20 laps, bringing that car back. Phenomenal drive by Lando.
Absolutely.
Every race, he just looks better and better.
Yeah, and McLaren has passed Aston Martin in the constructors, which is really great.
Wow,
so McLaren's currently P4 with 256 points. Aston Martin's, really Fernando Alonso, is P5 with 236 points. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to catch Ferrari. If we had another, like, 6 or 7 races, I think they would catch Ferrari. Maybe. It'd be close. It'd be close. Like, there would be a legit...
Ferrari seems to finish
It's basically 100 points.
They just fuck up their chance of winning races.
Yeah. But McLaren's had multiple podiums in a row recently. So, yeah, I think that if we had like another 6 or 7 races, that would be a conversation. Mm-hmm. It's not going to happen, though. What is interesting is still so we have the battle for Lewis Hamilton as P2 in the – oh, my gosh. Sorry. Wow. My brain is broken. Hamilton is fighting for P2 in the Drivers' Championship.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Mercedes and Ferrari are very tight for P2 in the Constructors' Championship. It is only, 22 points?
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm so bad at math every time. I literally do math for a living, and I'm actually like really good at math.
No, for some reason,
we
believe you.
when we jump on the show, I can never do math.
Numbers don't work.
They just don't work anymore.
Yeah, well, they're big numbers. They're in the hundreds.
We're literally
used
talking,
to working about like ones and twos.
We're talking about tens of points.
yeah.
Literally tens of numbers.
21's a big number, man.
Yeah,
it's a big number.
Anyway, yeah,
it's bigger than 20.
In the background, I feel like we have not been talking about that very much.
No, we haven't.
And it's actually a super tight race,
yes.
especially with the way that they're both finishing right now.
Yeah. Yep.
So that'll be interesting to watch. Do you have a take on how that will wrap up?
I think Mercedes looks better than Ferrari right now. Ferrari continues to dominate qualifying, but just can't get the race pace there to last the whole entire circuit. They ran the right strategy this race. They also got really lucky because Leclerc had a front wing that was damaged. And then the red flag allowed him to get a new front red wing during the red flag. So that really helped out Leclerc because otherwise he probably would have had to pit and they had to replace that. He wouldn't have finished where he did. I think, though, that like Mercedes and Ferrari are like neck and neck, it feels like, where any race, it kind of just goes back and forth. I think Ferrari, though, is going to find a way to fuck it up. I think they're going to find a way to like make the wrong strategy calls, overcomplicate things like they always do. Strategy spaghetti, which is their go-to, which
Ferrari
makes no fucking
Ferrari.
sense.
Ferrari's
gonna
of the season is
and
going to
Toto's going to Toto.
Okay,
dude.
fair. Do you want to add some juice to the AlphaTauri bet? Do you want to?
No.
Okay. I was gonna say.
I'm already getting a tattoo.
If AlphaTauri catches Williams, you get a little belly button piercing.
That is not going to happen.
Yeah,
that is not.
How confident are you that's not going to happen?
I would bet a
Belly
fucking
button
nipple piercing on that, dude.
You
think that?
I like it.
But
I think
if
a belly
they
button
don't, you're
piercing-
getting a piercing.
I think a belly button piercing is worse than a nipple piercing.
You want to get a
No
piercing?
way. Nipple is way worse, bro.
No shot.
But nipple piercings are cool. You could rock a nipple piercing.
You can be a guy with a
No.
nipple piercing, like
Absolutely
Well,
not.
you can be a
Yes,
guy
you
with.
can.
Okay, you can be a guy,
with
with
a
any
nipple piercing is way cooler than a guy with a belly
With a
button
belly
piercing.
button piercing, yeah. Are you serious? How many dudes do you know that have belly button piercings?
Well, I don't know. I don't know any who
Hey,
have
listen,
either,
for the record, guy out here listening to this who's looking down right now, like, listen, man.
Belly button piercings are sick.
You can pierce whatever you want. It is your world. You can do what you want.
Yeah.
Nick will not be cool with a belly button piercing, which is why. Will you put it on the line?
Well,
Bro,
are you saying though that like if they don't if Williams finishes above them, then you're gonna get a belly
No,
button
the
piercing?
odds have to match. I think we were at even odds before with the tattoo thing.
So it's all risk. I mean, get a belly button
Well, no,
piercing.
you
what?
can-
You get like
you
a bag of popcorn or something?
I can.
This
Well,
doesn't seem like a fair
honestly,
bet.
dude, with
What? I just think on the wrist?
with Crohn's disease, popcorn's actually a pretty bad time.
Okay,
So a bag of popcorn,
I have to watch you eat a whole bag of popcorn.
and then
Scarf it down as fast as you
you
can.
have to watch me pass a whole bag of popcorn too.
I don't want to watch that. That sounds like it's back on me doing something shitty.
Literally.
yeah,
Shitty,
yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
Nice. Okay, so just to confirm,
Belly button piercings are not cool.
that's off
Bro,
the and
you
is
should
that
get
off
a-
the
You should get a
table?
little cross, actually.
I would get my ear pierced.
Yeah, but that's
You should get like a thirst trap.
like a dangle
boy,
lightning
like,
rod
cross.
or something.
you're just gonna make him like a cool Gen Z guy. That's not a punishment.
No,
Yeah.
that is not cool. That's
You
cringe
lose, you're gonna
Gen
make
Z.
Nick sick.
What
as
do you mean,
fuck.
dude? Don't you go to the gym with your boys with your broccoli hair, being like for real, for real?
Yeah,
And,
no.
like,
Broccoli hair.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
You know exactly
You
what I'm
lose
talking
your broccoli
about.
hair.
You have to
Broccoli
get-
hair is fucking sick, man.
Okay, you have to get a
I don't
belly
have the
button.
hairline for that
You have
shit,
to get
man.
a belly
What's
button
broccoli
piercing,
hair?
but I have to get broccoli
Broccoli
hair.
hair. Still,
Yeah, Bo,
I
just get a perm. That would look it up.
You know,
Perm.
dude, you know what broccoli hair is.
Or like
you have
bleach.
broccoli hair.
Yeah,
man.
Jake, you have broccoli
Like
hair.
This,
Yes, like this.
hanging on your forehead. a
Like
little.
it looks like a broccoli head.
You
know?
don't have you don't have like full on broccoli hair.
No, I
This
just-
is broccoli hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Bussin'.
kinda do, yeah.
You would if you like. You're almost there. Did you guys
You're-
know that Jake dyes his hair blonde?
Yeah,
You do?
yeah.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
No, I don't dye my hair.
Okay,
Yes,
blonde.
he does, dude. That's fake. Jake
People
wants.
my whole life have always.
Jake wants to be
Said to me.
Jake Paul so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people always tell me I look like him, bro. It's-
Yeah.
You're well.
kinda
No one
crazy.
on the show has seen you yet, and they're not going to. I haven't even teased it yet.
Yeah, gatekeep.
Yeah.
We'll make an OnlyFans for Jake,
I
only
like
Jake,
it.
and it's really just like
Just face pics.
yeah, face maybe
Maybe.
eventually we're gonna work our way up to face pics.
I mean, whatever gets the most. Whatever gets the most. You know.
That
Yeah,
might be a
we
good
need
way.
to monetize this
Yeah,
shit
we need
somehow.
to start making money, Jake.
Yeah.
So that might be the way to
Jake,
do
you're
it.
My
fucking,
gift card is almost out of money, so.
Now that we're talking about it, the Olive Garden gift card it can only go
Back
so
on the
far.
table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, deal. Okay, that I think wraps up the Mexico GP.
Yeah. Should we do our P1 Ferraris and our shake and bakes?
Yes.
You want to start with the P1?
Yeah. My P1 of the week is going to be Lewis Hamilton.
Nice. It's a good one.
Okay, that was a really missed opportunity to pick my boy, but never mind. Danny Ricciardo.
Daniel Ricciardo. Easy P1.
Was that your pick?
Easy. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, the
Hamilton's
real-
my number. He used to be like my P2.
The real answer should be Danny Ricciardo, though. Unbelievable weekend. Super impressive. Probably won himself the Red Bull seat.
Yes.
Like you said,
He
Hamilton.
silenced the doubters.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
But I think he needs to, like, one is something to be curious about. Two is a pattern. We got to see if he does this again.
okay.
You know, because I think, like, is this just like a unicorn race for him?
Yeah, people
Right now
forget
it is.
Pierre
Right now it
Gasly
is.
won a race with AlphaTauri. Like first
People
place.
do forget.
People forget that.
People do forget.
So yeah,
Yeah.
is Ricardo a one-hit wonder with AlphaTauri?
Let's see.
I hope not.
I hope not also, man.
But yeah, he's like the obvious without a doubt P1 of the week.
Yeah.
I would actually say also in contention would be Lando.
Yeah,
Great drive.
Great
that's
drive.
like that's just a fundamentally great drive.
Yep.
Even though, he finished on the podium a couple weeks in a row, but this is actually arguably more impressive.
It is way more impressive.
Honestly, it was
I
a
agree.
really, really good weekend for him.
Yes.
Who's your Ferrari of the week?
Ferrari is. Oh, I thought we were gonna say Shake and Bake next.
Okay,
so,
you can go Shake and Bake.
No,
it's fine.
we're going Ferrari because
All right.
you asked me. I have Checo Perez
Okay,
is the
yeah.
Ferrari of the week because he just went from being the man on the moon to making over 100,000 people weep in one sheer right turn of his steering wheel. He also lost his seat. His dad is now going to have to untweet his tweet. So yeah, Checo for sure, Ferrari of the week, of the year, of the life, Checo.
I was gonna say if you weren't gonna pick Checo, I was gonna pick Checo's dad. So, so yeah, Checo's dad, absolutely Ferrari of the week.
Yuki Tsunoda is a hot second.
Yeah, hot second is Yuki Tsunoda.
Yeah,
Such a good opportunity to just
get points.
get good
Probably the
points
first double point finish for AlphaTauri.
in
all season, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. In multiple seasons, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, that without a doubt. Just take the points, man.
Take the points and
Again,
go, man.
I understand
Get that bag.
I was just talking about last week about how the one thing I do love about Max is the fact that although he's already won, it's not enough. Like he's just a competitor at his core, and I do think Yuki's also like the reason he reacts the way he does is because he's a competitor.
Mhm.
He flipped out when it happened.
Yeah.
The team. I remember like 2 laps later, he gets radioed in, and they're like, "Oh, your pace is ahead of the cars in front of you," and he's like,
Shut the
"No
fuck
more
up.
comments. I
Yes.
don't need any more help." And he's like so angry.
The Yuki rage moments are the best of all time.
It's all time. Yeah. But it was just such a colossal mess up, man.
Mhm.
So disappointing. Who's your shake and bake?
I got a couple on
Okay.
this. I'm gonna do my real shake and bake is the first time we've actually truly seen a slingshot engage from Ricky Bobby. A little shake and bake action was Daniel Ricciardo and Yuki Tsunoda
In qualifying.
because
yeah.
Yuki Tsunoda had a gearbox change, an engine change, something. He had to start last no matter what, but he was out there giving a slipstream for Daniel Ricciardo lap after lap after lap. Turns out though he didn't fucking need it because he went into 4th without Yuki being in Q3.
That's what I was gonna say.
Either way, though, that was the ultimate shake and bake move of the fucking season. The true definition of what a shake and bake is: slingshot, engage.
Yeah, totally agreed. It was such a good play, but even more impressive that he ended up not needing it, which is really great. Completely agree. That was a huge one. My other one for this week, let's just go with Aston Martin and DNFs because 2 DNFs this week. Just what are you doing, guys?
Yeah, that's kind of their MO, unfortunately, right now too.
Yeah, just Aston Martin and not finishing races.
Yeah,
They used to not start races, so I guess not finishing races is an improvement.
it is.
But
Yeah, you got to be able to start races to not finish them at least.
that's true. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
logic.
there's that.
They're getting there.
Yeah,
Yeah. So anyway,
one day they'll finish a race for the last half of the season.
yeah. Well, Alonso will.
Yeah, Stroll won't.
He'll be there.
Yes,
But anyway, yeah.
My 2 asterisks.
Okay.
Little funny ones for you. Prepare to laugh, everyone. Cue the laugh track. I had the Mexican fans and Charles Leclerc, everyone just agreeing to boo the shit out of him. That's pretty cool. I love that. And then I also had turn 1 and the outside car always causing a crash.
Nice.
Because we saw a lot of crashes there from the outside car in turn 1.
I have one more actually that I
let's
forgot
go.
about for my headlines. I have Logan Sargent and his contract. Oh wait, just kidding. All of those tweets about him resigning were not true.
Wait,
You
what?
didn't see this?
No.
Yeah, there were a bunch of tweets going around breaking news that Logan had re-signed for 24, and then it's not true. He
No
doesn't sign
shit.
yet. Yeah, so it was fake news.
That's
Hasn't
a
happened
fuck
yet.
up.
Wow.
It hasn't not happened. So it might be Logan and his contract signing, but as of right now, it's Logan and not signing contracts.
All he has to
Shake and
do
bake.
to sign again is finish races.
Yeah,
That's it.
I think he's going to get re-signed.
I think he's too.
Yeah, I do.
I do too.
And it's,
I like him.
and then I think he's going to lose his seat within the first 6 weeks next year. But I think he'll get re-signed.
Yeah.
All right, that was Mexico Grand Prix.
Yeah.
So let's jump into a really quick preview for the Brazilian Grand Prix, which is
Yes.
coming up this weekend. Just dive into not the Wikipedia page really quick. It is the 50th race being held. It was first held in 1972. The most wins are McLaren with 12. The most Let's see. It is a 2.67 mile. That is a 4.3 kilometer Logan track, 71 laps. Last year, George Russell won. Lewis Hamilton took P2. Sainz took P3. George Russell had the fastest lap last year. And interesting, if you remember, K-Mag on pole last year.
Yes.
Remember this?
Yeah. Yes, I do. That was George Russell's first win.
It was.
And only win.
I was wrong about Leclerc, very wrong. So let me just fact check us really quick.
That. This circuit is one of the best tracks in F1. It is extremely small, high-speed corners, a lot of abilities for overtaking here. This, to me, it's like a go-kart track. If you have a simulator or even just have F1, the video game, rip laps on here, I guarantee you'll fall in love with it. It always brings chaos. That's like what this race seems to be known for. You mentioned K-Mag on pole. This was the race last year that brought Russell's first win.
It was his only win, too.
Where it was a period last year where Red Bull was pretty dominant. And we got to see a constructor that came out and absolutely destroyed Red Bull this year. So this is a phenomenal track. A lot of history here, too. Ayrton Senna. The fans here have basically adopted Lewis Hamilton as their new driver here. So there's going to be a bunch of Hamilton fans, bunch of guys in Mercedes swag hanging around. It's an awesome fucking track, man. It's got the culture that Mexico has, but it also has like the fucking racing layout that a real racetrack should have.
Couldn't have said it better. And with that being said, with regard to Lewis and those fans, if Lewis does win this race, he does have the opportunity to pass Checo this week. It's possible.
What are some predictions you got here, Bo? What's going to happen?
As far as you just want to run straight through podium predictions?
Unless you got anything else to talk about here.
I really don't. I mean, the only other thing to keep an eye out for is just Mercedes and Ferrari in general. It's a super, super tight race for the two.
Yeah.
If we want to jump straight into predictions, I do think Lewis Hamilton's going to win.
I think he is too.
I've said this multiple weeks in a row now.
I think he actually is going to win.
At some point, I'm going to be right. And I know, again, saying Lewis Hamilton's a good race car driver, he's going to win a race is not exactly a hot take unless you're Jake. But
hey, man.
I do think, though, he's due for a win. If he does it and Checo scores less than 5 points, meaning that he finishes in 8th or below, he will pass him in the Drivers' Championship, which I also would love to see at this point. I think Hamilton's going to win. I think Max is going to be on the podium, probably P2 if he doesn't win. And I think one of the Ferraris is going to end up in P3 then. And so we're going to see let's call it Hamilton, Verstappen, Leclerc. I think we'll see Leclerc back on the podium.
Like it.
Which will be interesting because he will pass Checo in the drivers, but then Ferrari will then pass Mercedes in the constructors.
Mercedes will pass Ferrari.
No, the other way. Mercedes is in second right now.
Oh, you're right. You're
yeah,
right.
so I think we'll see a scenario where Ferrari will actually flip Mercedes, but Hamilton will flip Perez.
Gotcha.
So
gotcha.
Yeah,
good little shake up there.
That's the shake of what I think we're going to see.
I'm with you. I think Hamilton's going to win. He's due. He just seems to be in a good mood. Toto wants it, you know.
Well, and we called this after he took himself out with Russell a couple weeks ago. We talked about this. We said like that's the type of mistake that a veteran makes, and it like kicks him into gear, and he turns the season around, as opposed to like crumbling under pressure and ruining his season basically.
Yes.
So yeah.
So I think Hamilton is going to win. I think we're going to see man. I don't want to say the same podium as you, but I think Max is going to finish second. I think we're going to see a really good battle for first here. That's what I'm after this race.
I would love that.
Is it going to happen? I don't know. I just want it to happen.
We're going to will it into existence.
And I think we're going to see Lando get back on the podium here.
Okay.
P3.
I love it.
But yes, it's going to be a non-Red Bull W.
Book it.
Red Bull W down.
See you next week.
See you next week.
We hope you enjoyed the effing podcast. Check out our socials for additional content, and we will see you out on the grid.